The St. Louis Blues have dismantled, destroyed, and dare I say it, embarrassed the Winnipeg Jets for a third time at home. Wow, what a game by the Blues, and what a game by the Jets. There is a lot to unpack here. This is the most wild series I have ever seen. All the games in Winnipeg are close enough, with maybe the exception of 5, but even still, Blues put out an effort. All the games in St. Louis are devastating blowouts. Absolutely hand it to you. Play by the St. Louis Blues, channeling that great home crowd that they have there, the line matchups, and they go ahead and do this with extreme depth and prejudice. It all starts with their defensemen. Broberg, great start to the game. Parayko, fantastic. Falk, just as good. All of these guys have points in this game, goals and assists. And then you go into the fourth line, the Faxa line. Faxa, Toropchenko, Walker. Walker gets his third goal, going to the net. Little guy gets it done. 170 pounds, soaking wet with rocks in his pocket. Great effort. And then the young superstars, Neighbors, Snuggerud. The reason so many names are getting said is because the St. Louis Blues dismantled the Jets with a full team effort. Line 1, 2, 3 outplay line 1, 2, and 3 of Winnipeg. The top 4 defensemen from St. Louis getting active and involved. And the absolute critical key to St. Louis's success, Jordan Binnington, not only out goalies Connor Hellebuyck, but almost gets an assist because of his outstanding puck moving and puck handling ability. Montgomery outcoaches Arneal. It's a sign of a great coach if you can win on the road without line matchups. Line matchups are so important. They've been important to Montgomery as well, too. We could say all the same things, Jets fans, about the Blues, but the difference is the Jets are the President's Trophy winner. The Blues are number 8. They may be the hottest team coming in, but they are a true number 8. This isn't even the wild card divisional weirdo matchup. This would be a 1 versus 8, no matter which way you split the difference. So the Winnipeg Jets on the brink, on the ropes. And if you're the St. Louis Blues, sure, Winnipeg's won every one at home, and they should. And they may. But if you were a visiting team, the 8th seed, the lower rank, you would take Game 7 on the road all day against the President's Trophy champions. And that's exactly what St. Louis has done. They have nothing to lose, pressure off. Full pressure to Winnipeg. Let's break down Game 6 and show you how St. Louis dismantled the Jets. And Jets fans, hang around to the end and we'll talk about what the Jets need to do to retool and get back into it. Oh, and don't forget, down Mark Scheifele, critical. Absolutely critical. Connor Hellebuyck is 0-6 in his last road playoff games. And I cannot recall a Jets playoff win without Mark Scheifele. Matthew Tkachuk, injured Mark Scheifele. Jets swept from Calgary. Mark Scheifele, 4-game suspension for hitting Jake Evans. The Jets go on to get swept. Scheifele's suspension continues into the next season. Brayden Schenn takes out Mark Scheifele. Yep, I said it, Blues fans. It was the Schenn hit. Montgomery, nice politicking. Well done. It's part of the game. Scheifele doesn't stay down. Gets back up. Concussion in the first period. Starts throwing up in the dressing room. Late onset concussion symptoms. They're real. Look them up. I was working in the OR last night. No, that's not true. Just a nice Arneal Monty joke there. But he's out. No point in crying about it. You got to find a way to win without him. And so far, the Jets have not done that. Ever. Correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. Jared Falk's going to start this play by carrying it in. He's going to beat Dylan Samberg. And this is Blues Hockey 101, simple hockey. Quick pivot, put it behind your legs, get it deep and into the corner. The next play you're going to look at here is Snuggerud picking it up quickly, making a very fast heads-up play. Don't worry about making a pretty play. Just get it over to Rob Thomas right here. And that is just what the Blues do. Length, width, low to high. As they move it over to Thomas, though, I want you to see something pretty cool here. I want you to look at his blade. I want you to look at his helmet, okay? I'm going to have to start the play, but take a quick look. Watch his head, watch his blade, takes the puck. There is no stick handle if you didn't see it. Now, for those of you who have played hockey before, it is very difficult to do that without stick handling. Yes, they're NHL players, so you might think they should be able to do it, but every hockey player is programmed to feel the puck. You either have to look at the puck or you have to feel the puck. Some have to do both, even at the highest level. Rob Thomas is so highly skilled. The fact that he can do this without a stick handle and with his head up allows him to immediately make this next play. And it's little details like this that matter so much, because it gives him that ability to find the seam he just made. So you just saw it as I was looking through that seam, moves here over to Broberg, which is going to start this goal. All the attention of this goal is going to be on what happens in the crease. But take a look at the puck here and look at the angle he has to put it through. It's very small. If he stick handles this even for a moment, it doesn't get through. That was so quickly. This is a game of inches, and this is a game of seconds and millimeters if you're Canadian. Move it back to Philip. Bang. It's a muffin. Unbelievable. What luck. The muffin goes through, and we all know what happens here if we've watched the game. Sandberg ends up moving him right through it. It's Buchnevich, because of course it is. And it's actually Sandberg who catches Connor Hellebuyck and moves him out of the way. Puck ends up going in the net. Now, there's lots of discussion here on this one as whether or not this should be goalie interference. So you can see here, it's clearly Sandberg moving Hellebuyck, and he actually moves Hellebuyck. You can't see. He's moved Bucky's head. And this would be the start of the Jets' very, very long night against the St. Louis Blues. Really well done there by Buchnevich. Full credit for getting in between and causing that chaos. But also a big play by Snuggerud. And the biggest play there goes to Rob Thomas, being able to do that at high skill. There's going to be tons of talk on tons of media about whether you should challenge this, shouldn't challenge this. And the argument is this. If Buchnevich is in the crease, Connor Hellebuyck doesn't have the ability to have his crease, and that could be considered goaltender interference. That's how I kind of understood it on the panels. And the reason I'm telling you I kind of understood it is because I don't understand it. Very transparently, I don't know anyone actually that really understands goalie interference. Go down below in the comments, Blues fans, Jets fans, let me know all about things that high performance coaches don't know about. But it's such an inconsistent call. You can read the rule book. You can look at 100 different calls. It's just called differently every way. The Jets take a timeout. The video coach decides whether or not they want to review it, and they don't. They don't want to waste the challenge. The Jets at this point in the game are playing pretty good, so I respect the play. It's just a bad bounce, they're going to say. My head's already buried going, boy, another low to high, and it goes in. Bad luck. Would I have challenged it? Probably not, but I see the point on both sides. Regardless, it's a good goal because there is no challenge. Jets agree with the referee. 1-0, we're moving on. Tons to break down in that goal. The next goal that happens is Morgan Barron. It's disallowed. It's offside. Mason Appleton is clearly offside on the play. It's an easy challenge by Montgomery as it's caused the goal. The play happens so far away from the puck that they don't see it. That is the exact reason we have video replay, even though it didn't work out well for my team in that sense. Offside is offside, and that one was an easy one. The weird thing, though, after, and here's the second piece I don't understand. So I don't pontificate a lot about reffing here, guys. This doesn't get better at any level. Wherever you coach, it is all a very misunderstood animal. And I've explained why a million times. Every rule finishes at the referee's discretion. Whatever. The Blues end up taking a hooking call, and it's Justin Falk. And the hooking call happens after the offside. The play is reset back to offside, but the penalty still stands. I can only theorize, because I'm just not going to end up Googling this, that if a penalty occurs, even in time that is considered rewound, that doesn't negate the penalty. You let me know down below in the comments. I want someone to go do some sleuthing work on this one for me, because we can't go back in time and change it. The call is made. The goal is disallowed, but that puts the Jets here on the power play for the Cole Perfetti goal, his first in the series, and this is where it's looking really good for Winnipeg. One draw, Cole Perfetti gets it right back to the point. It's Josh Morrissey. Cole Perfetti's immediately going to go to his spot here beside the net. Morrissey goes over to Kyle Connor. Connor goes down here to Cole Perfetti, and Cole Perfetti goes to go cross ice to the back door, but that puck comes back, and it's sitting here on the back doorstep. Binnington makes the first save, usually does. Perfetti ends up banging it in and finds his first goal. And that's a beautiful hard-nosed goal from the young Winnipeg Jet, and it feels at that point that the Jets have a possibility to turn this around. They've played okay in the first. I know a lot of Jets fans, myself included, the eye test said we played better than the stats actually said. I mean, there was almost a 3-minute zone control there by the Blues in the first period. but you now have a 1-1 game on the road, and it looks like you're playing all right. But it would then be Nathan Walker that goes ahead and puts it in, and the depth of the Blues starts. First thing to show here, Morrissey leaves the zone. Take a look at the little hit here. I'm not showing you it because it's dirty or anything like that. Calm the heck down. It just goes to show how physical the series is. There's always a shot. Blues defensemen, they end up picking it up. Falker is going to carry it. And then instead of moving it over to Broberg, they're all on the strong side here. We call this a neutral zone regroup for those of you that are unaware. So anytime you make a play like this in the neutral zone and you transition going the other way, this is what's called the transition game in hockey. If you've heard that term and always wondered, Justin Falk's great transition defenseman, picks it up, moves, and instead of moving it over to Broberg, he does the second thing a defenseman should do. Skate until you lose all of your gap, time, and space. Make them come to you before you headman the puck. Don't just headman it. He does exactly that. Takes it right to the last minute, moves it up the wall here. Vaska's going to chip it in, and it's going to be Broberg who ends up hard on the puck. This is what the Blues do so well. Replace players. Everybody plays every position. Broberg's going to pretend to be a forward here. DeMello and Morrissey are caught, and this is why neutral zone transition is so important. The Jets are now caught, possibly tired at this point in time. You don't want to get caught on transitions because you get lazy. When you get lazy, it gets ugly. Nino Niederreiter, known for his defense. Nathan Walker is his man. Nino will lose him. Josh Morrissey has his man. Everything is working out until Nino goes beside the net. The point of this is you're trying to stop a wraparound or something from poking out. But I mean, Textier did this last game as well too. I believe you need to be on your man. He needs to be near Nathan Walker. Walker has been known to score. He doesn't. And I told you it's a game of millimeters and inches. All it takes is that half a second for that puck to be kicked out on a beautiful play. And he ends up beating Connor Hellebuck. This one can't be on Bucky. Bucky is deep in his net. He has to be because the puck is behind the net. The critical play before that puck comes out here is Hellebuck has to hold his post. It doesn't matter how big, how strong he is. Regardless, there's going to be a lot of net at this point. So that's how you get grindy goals. That's how you end up getting fourth line goals. Really good job by the Vaska, Toropchenko, and Walker line. Broberg feeding it out. And to me, that one is an absolute killer for Winnipeg. That's a spirit breaker, and that is a huge high for St. Louis. Anytime you get a fourth line goal, the bench goes absolutely mad because they're not expected to score. Never mind the fact that it's their third goal in 2 games. So that is a big pump up for the boys, as they would say. I'm sure Patty Maroon's got a lot to say about that one. Smiling, proud guy there. It is a really nice goal by the fourth line. It's a bonus goal by that line. You're supposed to check. You're supposed to be there to help the first and second line rest. Always awesome when you can put in points. Goal number 3 is critically important as it all starts with Binnington. He is one of the best puck handlers in the NHL. Canadian goalies tend to work very hard on handling the pucks in practices. This is a big part of Hockey Canada's playbook. Connor Hellebuck, we all know, Hockey USA goalie. Not the greatest of handling pucks, and that's not to say all American goalies are. But take a look here. You know he's got it in his breadbasket. We just circled him. He's going to put it down, and he's going to wait. He makes a little bit of a play, and this is why it is so critical. He holds on. He's super confident. I get it. It's just a little pass. But it goes to show how a goalie who is confident with the puck thinks and why all goalies need to play the puck and be good at it, because this is going to start that goal. Because he is able to move it to open space and open time, that ends up allowing them to make a big 2-line stretch pass here, and it is going to be picked up, and they're gone. As Schenn's coming in here, it's a simple shot. This is what makes the Blues game so simple. I told you fourth line goals rattle, guys. Connor Hellebuck's rattled. On this angle here, a goalie should not be beat short side. He is. I understand it's a tough spot for all those goalies up here. Anytime you put a shot just above the pad, just under the glove of the blocker, it's a tough place to go. But at the end of the day, you can't let that one in. You're an $8.5 million goalie. You're the heart and soul of a team. You're considered a franchise player, league MVP. Stuff like that can't go in. It's been going in all series. It isn't acceptable, but great play by the Blues, and it all starts at the other end with Jordan Binnington. Big third line goal again. This all starts with Toropchenko. It finishes with the defenseman, Parayko. It finishes with his partner, Fowler. Great acquisition from the Ducks. Right here, first off, the Jets back in way too far into the zone. They have decent gap here, but I mean, you should be able to step up. They don't. Toropchenko ends up in on it, and Stanley and Schenn overskate the puck. Unfortunately, sometimes that can happen with a bit of a skill gap. These guys are good, they're bruisers, but when it comes to puck luck and knowledge, not always there. They're not bad hockey players, they're good additions. They end up picking it up. Hellebuyck makes a really nice save. Great. Scramble in front of the net. What is this spelling trouble for? The point is open. All you have to do is find the point. They do. Quick little rim. Move it over here to Parayko. Parayko's going to move it over here to Fowler. And then take a look. This is where the goal goes in. This is technically a penalty. It doesn't matter. It's not going to get called in the playoffs. It's what's called a smart play. This is bending the rules at this point. Take a look at this pick. This pick is done really well. I've had a few other teams yell in the comments, there are no picks in hockey. Yes, there are. There it is. I'm not saying it's within the rules, but don't forget, at the referee's discretion. And in the playoffs, they're not going to be looking for little bumps. They're looking for major ones. And look where the referee is looking. He's looking up here. I understand there's a second referee. He's probably also watching in front of the net. Because of that pick, they're unable to get to the top. And because they can't get to the top, Fowler knows he is traffic. Hellebuyck is susceptible to this. There's not much you can do. The Jets need to get life and limb to the top. Well, stop them from getting the top by setting a pick. Bang. That puck ends up going in. I tell you, it isn't salty apples. It's just smart hockey. And that's where the Jets are getting a lesson in playoff hockey. They're the veteran team. They're supposed to know this. You're supposed to fight through it, get around it. You cannot get caught by things like that if you're the Winnipeg Jets. You got to find a way through. You got to find a way to battle through. And if you're St. Louis, look, you can love them, you can hate them. I know Blues fans love them. Hockey like that wins championships. Champions understand that. I'm not saying they're going to be a champion yet. I'm just saying that is a champion's mentality. Every sport, football, basketball, baseball, there was always a little bit of gamesmanship within the rules, and that is one of those plays that goes a long way. It's at this point in the period you got to start wondering, should Hellebuyck be pulled? A lot of discussion about it by the panel at this point in time. They don't. Where do I sit on it? Well, one, I'm not a goalie, but the panel talks about the fact that you got to work with your goalie and talk to him on whether or not he wants to come out. All right, I get he's not going to want to come out, but what do you get from this? The possibility of a pulled groin, a guy running you in the crease, someone stepping on you, tired. There's not really any positives when you're down 4-1 after things just happen that quickly. The Jets are mentally beat right now at this point in the second period. They're half asleep, and you can see it here on the next play. DeMello gets into a little bit of a battle. Puck moves behind the net. Brayden Schenn decides to reverse it. And then watch here. It slides under DeMello's stick. And this is an attitude I saw very similar to Austin Matthews when they lost in Game 5 to Ottawa. Goes right under his stick. Whoops. Okay. I mean, not even paying attention. And the attitude is to stand there. It's to stand there like the whistle has been blown and go, ah, shucks, I'm not sure what to do. Well, Toropchenko knows what to do. Goes hard after that puck. Look at that. That's a guy who wants to win. That's a skating stride. I apologize. Faska. It's Toropchenko that scores. Faska goes hard against the puck. Moves it over to Toropchenko. Winnipeg's in all kinds of disarray here. Completely all kinds of disarray. Toropchenko picks it up. Beats Hellebuyck for a fifth. Now at this point, are you talking pull? No, they leave him in. Once again, you know my opinion. I don't think there's a right and a wrong way to do this on this one. I would take him out because I don't think there's any risk at this point. I get the embarrassing part. Can't be pulled for a third time. Well, you can be a lot of things. Shouldn't have 5 goals scored on you when you're an $8.5 million goalie on the road. You can lose. You can lose and you can have bad nights. But the repeated inability for Connor Hellebuyck and the Jets, they go together, guys. They have to go together. Team defense and the goalie are a unit. This is not just on the goalie. This is not just on the Jets. As a unit, it doesn't matter who's in the net there. The Jets left him out to dry. But it's not good on the goalie either, because even when your team is bad, the goalie can rally and help you win, a la Jordan Binnington on the other side. When you pay that much for a star central franchise player, you expect them to steal games. At this point in time on the road, he has not stolen a game. You need them to steal games in hostile territory. You need them to steal saves. He had a beautiful paddle save again tonight. But for every paddle save he's taken away, there's been a goal that's snuck under his pad on the left side, short side, by Snuggerud, by Schenn. Is that really the making of a league MVP? Is that really a skill issue? It's more of an up here issue. The best goalie in the league will have some work to do, not only for Game 7, but for the rest of the playoffs if they even get that far. Now, the Jets would have some nice pushback in the third. Their checkout in the second period is awoken by at least an attempt to put an effort in the third. Penalties for roughing, for hitting, for slashing, finally taking liberties against the Blues. Slash on the hand to Schenn. Bad one too. Ouch, that's going to hurt. But you know what heals? A broken wrist. Broken brain? Not necessarily. Marc Savard was taken out by one hit, one concussion. Done. Career over. You never know what's going to happen with the brain. I know what's going to happen with a wrist. It's going to heal. Roughing, fighting, tripping. What else we got here? 10 minute, slashing, roughing. It continues on. It's the carnival. The best part of the playoffs. The Jets would end up scoring in this period. That's nice. It's a nice morale boost from Nino Niederreiter. But we're now at the point where we've talked about how great the St. Louis Blues have done, how great their fourth line was, how great Nathan Walker was, how great Toropchenko was, how their defensemen drove offense all over the ice, breaking into the zone behind the net with Broberg, D-to-D passing, Falk on the regroup. It's all there, man. Binnington moving that puck. This isn't a matter, and teams will always say this, and fans get so butthurt about it. Teams always say this. We beat ourselves. Why wouldn't you give us any credit? They're not giving you credit. You will never get credit. Stop asking for credit. It's the stupidest thing. I will give you credit. Announcers will give you credit. Writers can give you credit. We're not playing the game. I give the Blues full credit. Every other sports media analyst should as well too. They won the game. But asking the Jets or any losing team to give you credit or credit to the winning team? Nah, man. That ain't ever happening. Not at a presser, not anywhere. You got a Game 7 to play. You're going to go play it. You can have your credit after the series is over. Maybe. But that credit goes to the other players in the form of a handshake, not to fans. So full credit to the Blues for putting that one away. But Winnipeg, from the time the line combinations started, and they were weird. I think they were weird. I think it was weird to disrupt Lowry from the third line. I think Lowry needs to play with Niederreiter and Appleton. Simple. I don't know why you would take him off. I'd move Morgan Barron to the second line, Barron Ehlers, that's fine. Nemestikov to the first line with Velarde and Connor. That makes the most sense. And I'm not a guy who's above putting him in a blender and mixing him up. I think that's good. I think you should do that. But not in the playoffs. You got to play speed with speed and line with line. And Lowry and Nino play at the same speed. Nino looks lost without Lowry. They need each other. Fourth line was great for Winnipeg. Perfetti looked great. Ehlers, for a guy with a broken foot allegedly, also looked great. Fantastic even. Overall, there was some effort from some players on that. Nemestikov gets his bell rung because Velarde throws a guy into him. Yikes. Talk about bad luck again. Been a tough road trip for the Jets. But overall, I think Lowry and Nino play together. That's the same speed. Because playing fast and being fast are different things. You can play fast. The Blues aren't fast skaters. They play fast. It doesn't matter if you don't like the way I'm using wordplay here. The coaches and the players understand it. If you play at the same speed, north, south, and east, west, you will inevitably play fast. Moving the puck across two lines to Brayden Schenn, that's playing fast. Moving the puck without stick handling, Rob Thomas. Over to Broberg, that's playing fast. Snuggerud moving the puck. On stick, off stick, that's playing fast. You don't need to be fast to play fast. That's the difference. So there's a little bit of a lesson on that one. The Jets can skate fast. They can move fast. They are the faster team, but they aren't playing fast. They are being outplayed by the Blues. And I don't think the line combinations help tonight. I do think Arneal's getting a little bit of a coaching lesson from Montgomery when he's on the road, but I think Arneal is very good at home when he gets the ability to line match. So I look for Winnipeg to change up the lines again next game. I would be very surprised if Mark Scheifele is in next game. Shocked even. I mean, very happy. I want him to return and be very healthy, but concussions are nothing to play with. He could be done for the playoffs, could be done for 6 months. He could be done for 2 days. It's a range. Players end their careers on concussions. They're the most dangerous thing in sport. Hard stop. It's the worst thing that can happen to you next to getting paralyzed from the neck down. They are nothing to play with. So we'll see when he ends up coming back. But in the meantime, the Jets are going to have to find a way to get their first win without him. They're going to have to channel that whiteout and that home ice energy. They're going to have to channel the fact that they get last change. They're going to have to make sure they feel comfortable with their lines. They may not change them. They may leave Tony Notto in. I thought Jared Anderson Dolan was the right guy to go in there, but they go with the veteran presence, the Moose captain. Okay, sure. They'll figure out their personnel, but more critically, they have to play with an edge. The Blues have played with an edge all series. They've been consistent. Even in losses, the Blues have been consistent. That's the success of the Blues. Nothing to lose when you're the Blues. Guys, it's been awesome. I have a new mascot. Here he is. He's a trash panda. For those of you who don't know what a trash panda is, it's a raccoon, because I've had comments, people not knowing what a trash panda is. Just common raccoon. For Hot Garbage Sports, they eat trash. They love it. I need a name for him. I need you to like and subscribe to the video. I can see if you're liked and subscribed. So if you're not liked and subscribed, you can leave a comment, but you won't be picked. I want everybody to try to name this guy. Give me their best name. And in the finals, whoever makes it, doesn't matter if Blues, Jets are in it, irrelevant. In the Stanley Cup Finals, I will take the top 5 choices and we'll have a poll and you guys will name them. So I will pick the top 5 along with Coach Wifey D, and you will pick the final out of the top 5. And that will be the name of this new mascot for my HGS fam. Jets fans, Blues fans, Game 7 awaits. Let's get after it.